Hey, there we are. I'm on. Let's see how many people are coming on. My name is Jed Coverness. I first just want to thank each and every person who sees this, who would ever imagine this being possible. There we go. Now everybody's hopping on. Everybody's here. Great. My name is Jed Coverness. I am an exercise physiologist. I just want to thank everybody who comes here tonight. Tonight, this will be on replay as many times as it needs to get the message out about YGT. This is a fitness center, a gym, someday CrossFit gym that will change not only people's lives physically, but mentally. A little background on me before we get to some guest speakers. I was born and raised in Mitchell, South Dakota, to my with awesome parents. They without them I wouldn't be where I am today. They instilled a very good work ethic at an early age. I definitely learned that you have to work to get anywhere in life. I started my first job when I was 13, and I was fat, right? I was an overweight kid. My parents, my dad worked out of town until then, and then the last, 2 years into middle school, I was about 230 pounds, 5'4", and then my dad was like, "You're getting a job. That's it." So being the cunning person that I was, I got the job where he worked at a camper dealership. And then I remember it like yesterday. I woke up, poured my bowl of cereal, started eating, and he looked at me and goes, "How you getting to work?" And I'm like, you? And he just kind of shook his head. And the bike was parked out back, right? I had to pedal my fat butt to work all that time. And I was even smarter and bought a moped after I got some cash from work, right? But I still had to pedal, right? I still had to work my butt off all summer to figure out, you know what? You cannot eat like this anymore. You cannot just sit around and play video games. And I was getting yelled at, right? All summer I got yelled at for not working, not by my dad, but this foreman, right? And he was just so mean, and I thought, "Dad, why not stick up for me? What the heck?" And I figured out why now, because if I didn't do my job, I didn't get paid. That's it. I lost about 50 to 60 pounds that summer. Started my freshman year with some pretty cool, I would say, advantages, because I either had to work or I played sports. So of course I'm going to play sports. I don't get yelled at. But speed up to college. I joined a fraternity. Those guys saved my life. I was good at two things in college: partying and lifting weights. That was it. So you can make a living partying. You can have a lot of fun. But I really didn't want to focus on that. I wanted to focus on lifting weights, so I did. And I made that into a party, right? And I made that into something that I can actually do with my life, and something that matters. And I also worked with people with developmentally disabled. People live on their own, right? So what I did was I took the person's, I remember literally like it was yesterday, I took the person to the YMCA because I saw they had a YMCA pass, and that person was very depressed. They didn't talk much until that night. Like, we walked around that track. This person's ability was not great. Their mobility wasn't great. And their mental capabilities were okay at, connecting a few sentences together to have a conversation. But that night, walking around that track, that person lit up like a Christmas tree. They literally lit up. And at that moment right there, when we were walking around the track, we walked for 2 hours. They didn't to be fast, and this person really, really connected on a very deep level with me, right? So from that moment on, that's when I was 19, I'm 30 now, and I was like, wow, that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. So by the way, if you guys could tap that screen, give some hearts, if this is sounding all right, if there's some background noise. But yeah, right. So, yeah, thank you. The next thing I guess I'd like to talk about is just what this gym would look like. There we go. Thank you for those hearts. This gym would be a CrossFit gym for general population. Does not matter. Anybody can come here. Everybody has a certain level of mental health. My personal beliefs is we grossly underestimate the power of our own mind. Okay? And how we self-talk and how we talk to other people about ourselves and our other lives, or about our lives, has a massive undertaking on what we can do every day. I just saw the CrossFit, the creator, talk about how a 76-year-old woman should be doing deadlifts. I totally agree, because it's just asinine to think that if a 76-year-old woman dropped this pen, she wouldn't bend over to pick it up, right? It's just your possibilities. Possibilities are endless with that. So that's where I'd go with this gym, is you speed it up to today, and I instill belief in people. They don't even know it yet. And that's who we're going to be talking to. It's 3 people that really feel strongly enough that I am going to call them, and we're going to be listening to their stories. And the GoFundMe campaign. It's www.gofundme.com/Jed Coburnis. If you know anything about me, it's plastered all over Facebook, all over Twitter, all over Instagram, all over YouTube. I mean, if you can't find that link, you're probably not on the internet. Sorry to say it, but you're probably just not on the internet. So I was going to write it in backwards and show it to you guys, but if you really want to donate, you're going to find it. And if not, reach out to me. I will give you the link to donate to this. And the reason I put $80,000 on there, $80,000 gives basically everything you would need within a CrossFit box, and about 2 months to about 3 months of operational cost. Just because, we know it's a business. It has to run, right? It has to run with equipment. It has to run with rent. It has to run with insurance. It has to run with utilities. And for this to even fly, I would need that, right? About 3 months. Give me 3 months. And I'll be doing this too, right here. It's not only in the gym. It expands outside of this gym. Periscope, Meerkat, Blab, whatever it is, people will be able to communicate and form a sense of community with people who are not even in the gym. And that is a pretty powerful thing, because you can form a relationship and go home with that relationship. It's pretty crazy cool. So that's the gym. That's this benefit. I appreciate every person who would even listen to what I'm doing, even try out what I'm doing. I create daily WODs every day, to save you time, because we know that's what it is. We don't have time to exercise. But that's why I create within my education and in my background. I graduated college with an exercise science degree. And I create these daily WODs to be as efficient as possible. I hope that makes sense to everybody. So, without further ado, right, I have our first speaker, who is on speaker. Her name is Esther Robinson. Esther, how's it going?
Hey, Jed. Hey, everybody. Can everybody hear me okay?
So, can you guys hear that? please respond somehow. Say yes. That's kind of what we're going with. I'm waiting for a yes. There we go. Cool. Abby, thank you. Lynn, thank you. Cool. Okay. All right, Lynn, you're on. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Esther, geez. Sorry, Esther. Hit it.
That's okay, Coach.
Yeah.
Like you said, my name is Esther Robinson, and this is my story. I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois, on April 14th of 1968, which was an Easter Sunday. That's why I have the biblical name Esther. My life started out rough. I was born 2 months premature and wasn't expected to make it. But I guess I was a fighter, and God had other plans. I was born the youngest of 9 surviving children and a set of twins that my mother lost, which would have made us 11. By the time I was 1 year old, my mom and dad divorced. I used to think my dad left because he didn't like me. I would come to find out when I got older, my mom divorced him and gained sole custody of us kids due to spousal abuse and adultery. I would also come to learn that my dad molested my siblings. After my dad was gone and the threat of him being around the house was gone, my siblings began to tell my mom. My mom, of course, felt like a failure as a mother, but my mom wasn't a failure to us. She was out trying to work to provide for her children when the sexual abuse by my dad would take place. She thought she could trust her husband and father to take care of her children. She never dreamed our own father would harm us. Unfortunately, by the time Dad was gone, the aftermath of what my father had done to one of my siblings began to take a trickle-down effect towards me. Since my dad was gone by the time I was 1, you would think I would have dodged the bullet of sexual abuse. But because of the seed my dad placed in one of my siblings' head at such a young age, one of my siblings began to do to me what my dad had done to them. And I began being molested sexually by my sibling of 4 years old while my mom was at work. It happened several times through several years. And being a kid and being afraid, I didn't tell my mom. I also didn't tell her that at age 11, the first time I saw my dad since I was a baby, that my dad molested me too. I didn't tell my mom until I became a teenager when I continued to be hospitalized for trying to take my own life several times. It was at this time I was diagnosed with bipolar depression due to sexual abuse. During this time, I also learned that there was such extensive scarring to my uterus that I would never be able to bear pregnancy to term, and that I would always miscarry early on if I was capable to conceive at all. I also wound up developing uterine cancer later on, which resulted in a hysterectomy. My upbringing was hard. After my mom and dad divorced, my mom married my stepdad a few years later, and I watched him beat my mom, and I also watched him almost kill my mom in front of me by cutting her throat. I ran to my neighbor's house screaming to get help. After that, my mom and stepdad divorced, and my mom was raising us alone. We struggled hard, not having even the most basic necessities. Through all of this, at a very early age, I became an introvert. I had no self-esteem. I had no friends. I felt ugly, and I felt like a used and discarded piece of trash. I had no boyfriends because I was fearful of guys. So I began to turn to food to find some kind of comfort, and it usually worked. In every crisis of my life, food has comforted me. By the time I was a junior in high school, I was well over 200 pounds, and clearly the biggest girl in my school. A friend of mine, which by the way was my only friend, talked me into going to junior prom. So I went in a borrowed dress from one of my teachers, and imagine my surprise. I wound up winning prom queen. I felt so proud and so beautiful that night until I found out 2 weeks later that I didn't win because people voted for me or because I was pretty. It was because I was the only white girl at an all-Spanish school, and they wanted to prove they didn't discriminate due to ethnicity. I decided to homeschool for my last year and a half of high school after that humiliation. I didn't go to college because my grades weren't good enough for a scholarship. And back then, the opportunity for student loans wasn't what it is today. So I worked hard at a lot of minimum wage positions where I usually worked my way up to managerial positions. In 1999, after my mom passed away, which, by the way, was the most depressing time of my life, and I again turned to food for comfort, I began to be an uncertified technician at a vet clinic. Due to lack of confidence, I never completed that, and I wound up leaving the job. Not because I didn't like the job, I just lacked confidence in my own ability not to mess something up and possibly cost an animal's life. So I returned back to the grind of any minimum wage job I could find that I could work my way up in some semblance of accomplishment, and an hourly rate of a few dollars more than minimum wage. Most people at the end of a work day went home to family, children, a spouse, a boyfriend or girlfriend. I went home to what comforted me: ice cream, cookies, pizza and soda in front of the TV. Holidays were the worst, especially after Mom passed, because my siblings and I lived in different states. And the one sibling I lived around, we messed about like oil and water. Sitting alone in front of the Christmas tree eating my holiday dinner and watching it snow outside was the most empty, lonely feeling ever. Again, my food helped me cope. My life has had more heartache than joy, but through all the tears and pain, I said a lot of prayers, and through those prayers, I have developed a deep relationship with God, for which I wouldn't change 1 minute of what I've experienced. I've met some wonderful people in my later years and prayed with them over similar circumstances in their own lives, and I've shared my story with them. It was through one of those people by the name of LaTanya Littlejohn that I came to know Jeff Lee Coconut, or as I now refer to him, my coach, my mentor, my friend, my brother, or Broham, as I like to call him. LaTanya had been working with Jeff for a while, and she and I discussed that I too had been wanting to do something about my weight. But I needed guidance in proper eating, and since I was now so unhealthy to the point where the weight had taken a toll on my body and my skeletal system, where I was almost completely immobile and pretty much housebound, I needed someone who could help with a workout plan I could do from home. Over the years, I've tried going to gyms and paying for memberships at health clubs to get the help I needed, and have had trainers who claimed they were there for me and they were going to stand by me. They talked a good talk, so they got my membership fee. Then they could care less if I ever walked through the door again. My all-time favorite thing was from the beginning when I would show up at the gym all gung-ho and ready to work with the trainer who claimed to be there for me. There was always someone who stared and laughed and either pointed or nodded to their friend in my direction. And instead of the trainer having my back, he would excuse himself and walk away, only to be in the corner with another trainer eyeballing and laughing at me too. So of course, with that type of discrimination, who would want to go back? I didn't. So I got ridiculed when I showed up, and when I didn't show up, I still got stiffed by losing a non-refundable membership fee I couldn't afford. So you can imagine my skepticism when my friends started selling me on Coach Jed. All I could think was, oh no, not again. But she was insistent and said, just give him a chance and I promise you won't be disappointed. I heard that before. But I figured, what the heck, I think I can handle one more rejection. I can at least give him a chance. So I agreed to a phone interview. I don't normally do this because I'm very wary of people and only trust very few. The minute I answered the phone to Jed, I was instantly comfortable with his demeanor. Before I knew it, we had swapped our stories and were talking like long-lost friends. Before I even realized it, I let down my guard. All the walls I put up for so long, he breached them. When he told me he knows where I'm coming from and he's no one to judge anyone because he knows the sting of ridicule from a weight loss problem or from a weight problem, there was an instant feeling that I finally met someone who knows my journey because he's walked it. He's not just another Joe Schmo with flames of wanting to help me. He is me. He was Johnny on the spot. He started me on a food plan. We discussed my physical limitations, and he started me on a workout plan that fit my specific needs. He began incorporating me into groups with other people who have been and were where I was on this journey. He started having me to take pictures and measurements once a week and send them to him on social media so he could track progress. I hated that part at first until I learned it was also so that I too could see my own progression and so that my self-esteem would start to change. He did things that I didn't realize at first were helping to not only heal me physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. I've come so far with not just losing weight, but my mindset is so much more positive. And for the first time in my life, I'm proud of me. And I'm starting to love myself. I don't feel like I'm a discarded piece of trash anymore. Definitely. And I don't want to give up on myself anymore. Not that Coach Jed would let me. In his own words, you're stuck with me, kiddo. And I'm okay with being stuck with him. I like having a brother from another mother. 15 months later, I am now down 153 pounds and feeling amazing. I started this journey on my own before meeting Jed, but I didn't start succeeding on the journey until I met Jed. I had to change from the neck up to succeed and be successful in changing from the neck down. With positive reinforcement and love, is helping me to do that. Jed C. Copernic has not just been my coach, my physiologist, my weight loss inspiration, but he has become my best friend, my support when I feel like I'm crumbling, my motivator, and more importantly, a part of my extended family. If I get negative, he shows me a positive. We have prayed together and fasted. We have laughed, but we have also motivated each other about a form. We have bonded spiritually, mentally, and definitely emotionally. He gives me tough love when I need it, and brotherly love when I need that too. He's the most unselfish person I know, on top of managing a job, a family, being a volunteer firefighter, doing WOD videos for us and making time to do individual WODs to meet our workout needs, filming his physiology show, creating and running support groups on social media, and a million other things he does daily. He still makes time. He texts, he calls, and he checks up on me just to chat and sometimes brainstorm on things or answer any questions I may have. He always makes time. I am blessed and grateful God sent him into my path. That's why when he hit us with the news about the YGT gym, which, by the way, YGT is one of his catchphrases, and it stands for You Got This, I was in for it, especially when he told us in our family group. It's always been a dream of his to open his own gym. Not only a gym that would cater to the needs of able-bodied people, but also a gym that would cater to the needs of physically and mentally impaired people. People like myself and so many others who have been discriminated against in other gyms. So often when people look at an overweight or morbidly obese person, the perception they have of them is that they're fat because they're lazy. There are social media pages who cater to that perception. These pages target overweight people in grocery stores while they're shopping, and heaven forbid that they should have anything sweet in their cart, because then they get to become the running joke on that specific media page. Or if an obese person uses a motorized cart to do their shopping, they get to have their picture taken from behind without them knowing, and they get their picture captioned on social media as wide load. Society sees and is so quick to judge when in reality they don't know the emotional scars or trauma of people's past that may have caused the obesity. People have lost heart for humanity and only have heart for themselves anymore. But there are still those chosen few like Jed who genuinely have not only heart but true empathy and love for others. He has a heart bigger than obesity could ever become. That's why this dream of his to open YGT Gym, a true loving, compassionate, and assessing, non-judgmental safe haven where people who are where I was and still am can get the proper help they need from someone who genuinely has the heart, the empathy, and the positive reinforcement they are so desperately in need of, is very near and dear to my own heart. I am, and so are so many others, a part of this dream. Only I will go further by saying that YGT Gym is more than a dream. It's a legacy, and not just for Jed and his family, but for each person who enters the doors to the gym. And I promise you will get the proper help, love, motivation, inspiration they need. Each person will carry that away with them, and all be a link in the chain of the dream and legacy of Jed. I myself have, for the first time since I don't even know when, have aspirations to reach out and share my story, and never stop sharing my story, in hopes that I too will be the type of inspiration to others that Jed has been to me. I do aspire to walk the journey with others like my mentor has with me, because I have been there, I'm still there, and to make a legacy of my own by keeping the dream alive. Each person that I help will also be a link in the chain of the legacy of Coach Jed, who loved me so much he inspired me to be a dreamer too. I love you, Coach, and thank you from the bottom of my humble heart, and would like to ask everybody listening to help by being a dream maker and a legacy builder, and go donate to YGT Gym today. Thank you all, and God bless you.
Wow. Thank you, Esther.
You're welcome. Thank you.
If that's not... I don't even, earlier I was talking and I was going to ask you some follow-ups, but I don't even have any follow-up questions for you. That is... all
Hey,
your...
I love you, Coach, and I'm here for you. We got this.
Yeah, that is amazing. You're way too kind.
No, you've done for me more than anybody's ever done for me before. And a few minutes of my time to help you with your gym, hey, this is not just your dream, it's all of ours. All of those who've been discriminated against, this is all of our dreams. We need this gym.
Amen, huh?
We need more people like you, too.
I'd agree with that. I would agree with that, finding people who actually...
You should agree with that.
care. Alright, cool. Well, thank you, Esther. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. God bless, folks.
Thank you.
Talk to you later.
You too. Yep. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Wow. Those are some powerful words, if I've ever heard any more than in my life. That is crazy. Yeah, Esther has been rocking. She's been doing awesome. You know, she said it all. She said everything possible. I'm just proud of her. Very proud of her. So now, I'm calling Lynn for this benefit.
Hello?
Hi, Lynn. Jed here.
Hi. I'm good. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine.
Awesome. So, Lynn, because you're probably on Periscope right now, right? Yeah, I can hear the echo.
I am. Let me move away from it. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
no problem. No problem. That's pretty cool, though. Lynn and I have been working together also, just on some specifics. But, Lynn, would you care to let us know your story?
Okay, I have to say, Esther Robinson, that was a very inspiring story.
Absolutely.
I got to watching Esther on Facebook, and I would notice the weight she was losing. And one day I asked her, Esther, how are you losing all this weight? And she explained it to me. So I sent Jed a friend request, and he accepted and started telling me healthy recipes to eat, exercises to lose weight. I had knee surgery, and I lost a lot of muscle mass, so I couldn't do a whole lot. And he would work with me to find things I could do to help me in the weight I needed to lose, and I've dropped 7 pounds. Very happy about that.
Yeah.
Jed showed me strengthening exercises for my knee as well as the muscles in my body. I feel better. My muscles are getting stronger. Jed has been very supportive in anything that I've needed, mentally and physically. YGT, I'd say it's the way to go. You would benefit, to join. It's just been wonderful for me. I've met several people that have become family. I feel better about myself. Like he says, if you're willing to change from the neck up, you're willing to change from the neck down. And that's very true. It's been a wonderful experience. I haven't had a bad family life, so I really have nothing to say on that, but I'm just very, very impressed with Esther's story and trying to get my tears from flowing. I would recommend this for anybody that needs help in losing weight. I thought I couldn't exercise because it hurt so bad when I would try to do things, and to find out I was doing things the wrong way. It has showed me the right way to do things to help get this better. And I'm looking forward to the months to come working with them. So I would say if you need help losing weight, you need to be inspired, this is the way to go right here. You need to join, and you need to support his gym that he's trying to get.
Awesome.
That's about all I can say.
All right. No worries, Lynn. Thank you. Those are kind words. You're doing awesome. You had said 133 pounds you're at, correct?
Yes, I went from 140 to 133.
Yeah, and you were a bit worried that, I can't get down, less than 133, and essentially,
Yes.
I'm not real worried. If you're carrying around some pretty lean muscle muscle mass, that is pretty dang cool. You probably feel stronger. I guess that's a big deal. Your knees probably a little more stable.
It is. I mean, I can feel all over my whole body. Just seeing things tighten up and, moving in positions that I couldn't move before.
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
and I owe it all to you.
Well, thank you. And what's really crazy is, like, we've never met in person. Esther and I have never met in person. And Lynn, you and I have never met in person. And, this gym that is just kind of coming about, can you imagine what the possibilities are for, people being in person and from the internet?
Oh, yes. Well, you make us feel worthy.
Yeah. That's essentially it. You're worth it. That's what it's about. You're, no matter what.
Well, I didn't feel like that before.
Wow.
I mean, I started getting a very low self-esteem of myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, because I couldn't drop these pounds, and I tried diet pills. I have talked to gym teachers uptown, and they're not as supportive. I mean, you're right there for us. No matter what it is, you are right there for us.
That's important, yeah.
And it's been awesome. I mean,
that's cool.
Awesome.
That is awesome. And you guys are very kind. You guys are very kind to be, promoting anything. It's especially something that, is a dream of mine and now has become something bigger than that, which just blows me away every day that, you guys share and like and comment on whatever I'm doing. And I'm just like, wow, okay. There are people depending on me to do this.
Well, yeah, I mean, we want to support you, but you support us 150%.
Yeah. Yeah,
And it's become,
I don't know how not to. Sometimes it's a blessing and a curse, and I don't want to call it a curse, but I don't know, for lack of a better word for right now, is I don't know how not to cheer somebody on. No matter what, some people will call it, you're just way too damn positive. I'd be like, I don't care. It's my DNA. It's in who I am to cheer you on no matter what. If you would say tomorrow you're going to go to an ice cream eating contest, I would hope to heck that you would get first place. I don't care. If you want something, go for it. So, cool.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like when I get up in the mornings now, I can look in the mirror and say, yeah, look at me.
Exactly. Exactly. And to give that to every person that I talk to would be amazing.
Yeah, well, it's wonderful, Jed. We can't repay you what you have done for us. Not just physically, but mentally also.
Yep. That's my purpose. I truly believe that is my purpose for this life, for my life.
I recommend to anyone, get in this program, hang in there. I mean, there's days that I would be so sore, I think, I just cannot do this. And then you would say, you got this.
Yeah. Kathy had reminded me, and we're going to talk to her next, she had reminded me of the name, right? She was helping me with the name of the gym, and she goes, well, what about you got this? You say that a lot. And I'm like, there it is. That's it. And I even brought it up to my wife. I'm like, it's YGT. It's you got this, because I say that a lot, don't I? And she's like, yeah, you do. You say it a lot. And she's 100% right. I mean, yeah, I could probably come up with other things like, yeah, go for it, do that. But it's just my thing. It's you got this no matter what. You got this.
That's very true.
Yeah.
And you've made us believe in ourselves.
Right.
That's a big thing right there, making us believe in ourselves.
Absolutely. Well, cool, Lynn. I appreciate you coming on and putting yourself out there to, right now it says 4 people, and I don't really care how many people, actually are here. You're putting yourself out there for, a bigger cause than just this. So, and Abby says, I think Jed, you got this. Yes, exactly. I think we do. So, all right, Lynn, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you. Appreciate everything you're doing for me.
You're very welcome, and God bless.
Thank you. You too. Bye now.
Yes, sir. Bye.
Wow. All right, I think we have time, right? 9:10. Yep, for one more call, and she's expecting my call. So, Kathy, this is pretty much where it. She was the first person that ever I talked to. Kathy.
Hey.
Hey, Jed here. We're on Periscope, so we're basically right. We're like we had talked about earlier. Just a little bit of a preface of we're basically just having a conversation. But you said you wrote something, right?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Right. You wrote something for tonight, right?
Yeah. I hope I did it right anyway.
I'm sure you did. You go ahead and read that.
Okay, I wrote, my name's Kathy Gardner. I live in Jeanette, Pennsylvania. My goal is to be happy and healthy. To love myself more, how can I love others if I don't love me? Then I wrote, I will become stronger in believing in myself. If I can believe in others and help others believe in themselves. Okay, and I wrote, before YGT, I was not able to, I'm just going to talk, I wasn't able to do planks. I wasn't able to walk up and down the steps without holding on. And to some people that might not be a big deal, but it is to me. I wasn't even able to put my hands up over my head. Yeah, like most, I've had a hard time breathing before. That has gotten better.
Kathy, why don't you tell us why that happened? Like, what happened to you in your life that you couldn't walk up the stairs before?
Basically, I just got lazy. I did. I got lazy. I just didn't want to do anything. You just sit around, watch TV. Mm-hmm. Poopy was like my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
It was. I guess you could say it started ever since I was little. I mean, I was abused most of my life. I'm not going to say how I was abused, but I was abused most of my life. My mom and dad both was nothing but drunks. They always had other people in and out. I sort of like the one that was always stuck in a corner.
Yep.
I was. Every time we would go somewhere, and there would be like anything to do, I was always like I said, I just always laughed. I was just never good enough.
Yep.
I mean, I didn't write all that down, but you said to speak from the heart.
Yes,
well,
ma'am.
So that's just the way it was, with being abused, I tried to find ways out to do stuff.
Yeah.
Like I said, it became my best friend. We'd go somewhere, and they was having spaghetti. I'd sit down and eat 3 pounds of spaghetti.
Yeah.
With the salad and all the sides and everything.
Food as your best friend is a hard thing to break up with.
What was that?
Food as your best friend is a hard thing to break up with. That best friend, right? Your go-to.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I didn't start drinking pop or anything though until I got with my husband now. Mm-hmm.
I think I heard that. You just said, yeah, it's my fault, right?
No, but you know, honestly though, it's not his fault.
Right. No?
I did not have to take that pop.
That's correct.
I didn't. You know, I didn't have to drink that pop.
Right.
I didn't have to eat that food, but I choose to do all that.
Yeah.
You know, you know, back in 81, I was in a bicycle accident, and I was in a coma for a month and a half. I was, and when I came out of the coma, I literally had to learn how to do everything. I mean, everything. Walk. I had to learn how to feed myself.
Yeah.
I had to learn how to dress myself. I had to learn how to do everything all over again. I did.
Yeah.
And then, 94, I got married, got divorced. I did. You know, got on SSI because of a seizure disorder. My mother would take my money and do whatever she wanted to do with it. And my first husband, you know, in 94, when we was married, he'd call me. Well, he would get my money and he'd take it over and give it to his mother. And then I'd have to put up with his girlfriend calling me and telling me she was pregnant. I did. I'm a little bit nervous.
No, you're all right. So, you know, your seizure, right? Seizure disorder. It, you know, it's not easy, right? I mean, you're.
No, it's not easy. But you told me a whole lot there, but just saying every day that you believe in me.
There you go.
You know, if it wasn't for those couple words, I don't know if I could do this.
Right.
I don't. I'm not patting you on the back or anything, but I appreciate that there. You know, those words, they help.
Yep.
They do. Heck yeah, I broke my arm in 94. Had to walk around carrying a 5-gallon bucket of water all over the place. So my arm was messed up, which it's getting stronger from you know, doing the WADs and everything and helping with that there. In 2010, me and my husband both was in a house fire. And I was on life support and didn't think I was going to live.
Yeah, and here you are.
Getting better every day.
That's right. How much weight have you lost total, do you think, Kathy?
I would say over 50 pounds.
50 pounds? See, I didn't even know that. Like, I know you lost quite a bit, but 50 pounds.
I mean, last time I got weighed, I was at a few months ago, was at the doctor's.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 171. When I started the program, I was 208.
Wow.
And I've lost a whole bunch since then.
Well, yeah, because your pictures of clothing, right? I just love your pictures because your pictures. That's why I love having people take them, because they don't lie, right? Like you post like the side profile picture, and those pants. You did a video that one time where your pants were just huge. They were so big on you. That was amazing.
I mean, I just feel so much better. I mean, I have energy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm able to now walk up and down steps without holding on.
I don't run out of breath.
Right.
You know, I can put my arms up over my head without my shoulders hurt and stuff like that. I still have a little trouble doing push-ups as far as on the floor, but I do them up against the wall.
That's right.
And that's better than not doing them at all.
Absolutely. And someday you will be on the floor hitting those push-ups. You know it.
Oh, yeah. I know it.
Yeah. Just takes practice.
That's just it. You know, you can't give up.
The only way you know it doesn't work is then when you give up. Because then you know it doesn't work, right?
Yeah, then it only doesn't work because you don't want it to work.
That's exactly right. That's awesome. Well, you're rocking it, Kathy, and I appreciate you, just like Lynn, just like Esther, for coming out and putting yourself out there. It takes a lot of guts to do what you're doing right now.
Well, I figured this way here, I've been through a whole lot in my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
You know me, I put God before everything and anything.
Amen.
But, with him, I've learned to be a fighter. I've had to fight for everything in my life.
Yeah.
I don't care what it was, good, bad, or anything else. I had to overcome.
That's right.
So, I had to fight for everything.
Yep. Yeah, you are a fighter. You're doing great. No question.
I know before I got with you, as far as being my coach and stuff, I did give up, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
I did give up. Because I didn't see no changes. I didn't. But then all of a sudden, you start telling me about how to do the exercises and helping me with the exercises and stuff. I'm like, okay, I'll give you a chance. Sorry, but...
No, it's how it works. I love honesty. Be honest.
I said, okay, I'll give him a chance. And it worked.
So you're essentially in order of people, third person tonight to basically say, I'll give you a chance, right? Esther had said that. Lynn, I think, in a way said that. And then you said, before I give up, I might as well just try, whatever this Jed guy is talking about, right?
That's about it. I mean, you have to give people a chance. Yeah. They're either going to actually help you or they're going to disappoint you. Mm-hmm. And I can honestly say I have not been disappointed with you.
Well, thank you. And I appreciate your honesty with everything. Honesty that's all we got. It's our word, right? It's our word.
That's it.
Cool.
That is it.
All right,
now, like I said, everything I told you I did not write down.
That's okay.
Because what I wrote down, what's not important, but me just saying it like I'm saying it now, that's more important.
Absolutely. I agree 100%.
And you said about writing this all down, typing this down. I'm not going to remember everything I said.
That's okay. I'm hoping to God that this records, because this has been an amazing night. But yes, Kathy, I appreciate you coming out tonight and telling us, telling everybody how you feel. So, well, I'll let you go. I think I'm going to wrap this up because I said it was going to end at 9:30, so I got 6 minutes. So.
Well, it's 10 o'clock here.
All right. Oh, right, exactly. Well, 9:30 Central is what I mean, so it'd be almost 10:30 your time. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you have a good night.
You have a good night too, and give those babies a kiss for me.
Will do. Thank you, Kathy.
Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye. See? Right? I think the moral of today, of this, if you want to call it event or benefit, would be to give it a chance. You know, the GoFundMe campaign is my way of increasing the awareness. You know, I think I put a post out there, if 16,000 people would donate $5, that's $80,000. That's it, right? 16,000 people is actually not that many people. And it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter how long it takes this is happening. Like, if I wanted to quit tomorrow, I don't think I could. I don't think I could. Because in the bottom of, like, my guts, right here, right here would hurt. So it's GoFundMe.com/JedCoburnis. Consider it. And last tidbit before this is done, this awesome person that I found, it's from Fiverr.com. It's a pretty cool website, but has redone the logo, and I think it looks pretty sweet. Eventually, it might change, but I think it's pretty cool. So I'll be updating that all through every social media channel possible. So thank you all for just being you. Really, it's what it comes down to. And when this is on replay, if you make it this far right here, we're like an hour in. And again, if you make it, I say this at the end of most of my videos, I appreciate you for making it this far. Because if you're willing to change from the neck up, you will change from the neck down. Believe in yourself. You're worth it. Alright. And Lynn, I know those are your hearts right there. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart. Alright. Bye for now.